people? We are Tottenham TV here. Spurs have drawn 2-2 at home to Bournemouth in the Premier League today in what was, I think, a result which I think it's fair to say we had a huge slice of luck getting. Bournemouth 2-0 up until I think it was the 65th minute where we got a big slice of luck through Sarr, and then Son's late penalty gifting Tottenham a point. But that did not tell the whole story of the game. With me today to talk about it, we've got George. George, 2-2, was it a fair result?
Yeah, I think it's a fair result to say that we didn't deserve to win. We got fortunate to come back into the game with a cross or a shot, a lofted cross that fell into the goal from Sarr for the first one, and then a penalty for the second one, which you could say Kepa, probably a poor decision making. Iraola will be felt hard done by there because the goalkeeper should have done better. But ultimately, 1 point's 1 point. We needed a draw, and where we are in the table, every point we can get is important. So we're going to take the points, or take the point and do what we can with it. Is this a result that we can build from or take any confidence from? Definitely not. I think it's been clear to see that the players they looked a bit leggy at the end. Maybe they're lacking belief. Maybe they're just lacking ideas. But something does need to change, whether that's whether that's tactics, whether that's a whole load of other things. Something does need to change because we've got a big game midweek, and to be honest, there doesn't look like there was no wake-up call from the last one.
Yeah, playing like that, when it's going to be hard to even beat RZ and overturn that result with the performance we put in today. First half, obviously Romero getting his first start since December. Solanke actually ended up playing full 90 minutes today. But it was just like you could see from the first minute, everyone was off their game a bit, very, very, very sloppy, giving the ball away in stupid areas. Romero, from literally the first minute, giving that ball straight to Evan Nilsson, who should have scored straight away. And Bournemouth peppering Tottenham early on, should have been 1-0 up. If it wasn't for Vicario making some really good saves and maybe some poor finishing from Bournemouth, that would have happened. Spurs then, I felt, without really creating any chances, started to just get back in the game a bit, but to get some control, winning the ball a bit in the middle of the park. But we didn't really threaten Bournemouth, and it's this very similar story to our last couple of definitely first halves, where lacking threat, no shots on target, didn't really trouble the Bournemouth backline, and then Bournemouth did take the lead. Tottenham again on the attack. Porro striding forward in the centre, gives the ball away to Milos Kerkez on the left-hand side. He's then completely free because Porro's the one who's given the ball away, has all the time in the world on the left-hand side to pick out Tavernier, and bam, they get the 1-0 lead, which they did thoroughly deserve. And going into half-time, it's a familiar story to what we've seen over the last few games.
Yeah, very familiar story going into half-time. Surprisingly, Ange did make some half-time changes. We obviously saw Bergvall come on, saw Son come on, and it's fair to say that within the first 15 minutes of that second half, both of them had made some really good impact. I think Bergvall, you saw from moment one, he looked to turn, play the ball forward, something that we didn't have in the first half. And also Sonny just looked a bit more alive and a bit more active than we saw in midweek, trying to take on his man. Managed to fashion a shot that took a deflection and deflected off the post, and also Bergvall hit the post, and we was fortunate to not score, also with Sarr having an early chance in that second half. So probably a few times where you could say we was unlucky, but also yeah, man, I just feel like overall the performance just wasn't there from us. I feel like we had moments in the game, but when you're talking about the actual overall control, it's just very sloppy in possession, a lot of errors leading to shots, and ultimately we gave Bournemouth the goals that they had.
Correct, and obviously we made those subs. You say Bergvall came on, Son came on, and then also Maddison and Van de Ven come on. I think it was on the 60th minute, pretty much. They come off the bench. It was 60th minute, and you're thinking, is the tide going to turn a bit? Maddison immediately within a minute creates that chance for Sarr, and you're thinking, all right, Tottenham could get back in this game. It's still only 1-0, and then just after that chance gets created, we concede a goal straight away through Evan Nilsson. A quick free kick gets taken. Kluivert, smart through ball to Evan Nilsson, clips over Vicario, and it's 2, and you're thinking it's game over at that point. Tottenham didn't look like coming back into the game, and it was a feature of the game where we would have a chance to score, miss it, and then Bournemouth would immediately counter-attack and have a chance. And they actually had a goal ruled out in a similar moment. And then obviously they get the 2-0. And you think at that point the game is done. We absolutely got a massive slice of luck to get back in the game. Bergvall plays a ball out wide to Sarr. He's looking for a cross to the back post to Solanke, completely overhits it, and it's in off the back post over Kepa's head. That point, you'll think the crowd's up. Are we going to get back into the game? But in all fairness, it looked more like Bournemouth were probably going to get a third more than we were going to equalise at times. They brought on Utara, they brought on Scott, added a bit of energy into their forward line. And again, they were getting in behind. There was these overlaps we had no answer to. We would have a guy on the ball. We would have play this high line in front of him, and all they did was an overlap around the outside or the inside. And there's just one straight ball, and they're in behind. Just time it well.
As well, the press that we done killed us, because I think loads of times we were pointing out in the game, Jed Spence, Pedro Porro are bombing forward. But then they're missing their challenges, and Danso and Romero would do the exact same thing as well at times. And when they're both missing those chances on the high press, you're seeing what's happening, how it's impacting our team, because we just got broken down and they're getting so much space in behind. And ultimately for that second goal, that's exactly what it was we tried to press them high up on that right-hand side. And we didn't win the ball, and Kirkes found all that space in behind where he put an absolute beauty of a cross to find Tavernier.
Yeah, obviously, it looked like Bournemouth were probably going to get that third goal potentially, but you're right. We were kind of really struggling with our build-up play, and we were really struggling to kind of get our way out of our own half for as soon as Bournemouth made those subs. And then we did find one moment pretty much in that whole second half late in the game. Brilliant build-up between Son and Spence, gets it to Maddison, finds a bit of space in the middle. He plays a beautiful through ball to Son. He just gets there before Kepa, and he is upended, gets the penalty. And that was probably the only time through the whole game we actually were comfortably able to play through them. And I guess that's the benefit of how we tried to build up, is when we do get through them like we did, all of a sudden we can create space and opportunities, and that's obviously what happened. A bit of a rush of blood to the head by Kepa. He brings down Son, probably didn't need to do that, and it was a penalty. Son steps up, probably doesn't catch it right. They called it on commentary a Panenka light. He tries a little dink, brave time to do it, doesn't catch it at all, but still Kepa's committed and goes to the back of the net. You're thinking, I think it was still 6 minutes to go at that point, can we get a winner? But unfortunately never really looked like ever scoring after that. And you look, as far as the game and the result goes, wasn't a great performance. Again, very sloppy, so many mistakes. Bournemouth would be kicking themselves they didn't win that game, to be honest, because especially in the opening 10 minutes, they had various chances. And to be honest, at 2-0, they had control of the game, and they should have seen it out at that point. But a bit of credit to Tottenham. There were a few positives. I think Bergvall, major positive.
Bergvall
I thought he was fantastic, probably our best player when he came off the bench. Son looking bright when he came on, hit the post, scored the penalty. He looked bright. Angel as well, I thought changed the tactics a bit in that second half. He actually looked like he put Son alongside Solanke with Maddison just in behind for a bit. So there was a bit of a change in tactic, which caused a few problems for Bournemouth, but obviously wasn't enough. Maddison, I thought, looked bright when he came on as well. So I think he was a positive. The fact that Van der Ven came on, looked bright when he was on the pitch. Romero, well, he wasn't really a positive in terms of performance, but the fact that he played was a bit of a positive, but he looked really, really sloppy. But there are a few positives, but overall, very lucky to get the draw. It's another game you come away and the performance wasn't really convincing. And if we play like that on Thursday night, you're not going to really... you don't hold out much hope that we're going to overturn RZ on Thursday.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to have much of an expectation to turn over that game when you perform like that. When we talk about some of these good performances, I will be honest and say that we probably are clutching at straws, that a lot of these players didn't really play great, but they just had good moments in the game and good little passages where you could be like, okay, that was decent. But like you said there, I don't feel like there was any standout performers or any players that could really walk out with their head held high, because I think most players made mistakes. Most players at times probably was culpable for some of the chances that we ultimately conceded. And I mean, the one player that I'd say maybe put in a lot of work and just didn't reap the rewards of his work was Solanke. I think Solanke up top was doing a lot of the running work, trying to drop in deep, trying to link up the play a lot of the times, but just missing that final ball, as we have been for a long time. So yeah, just frustrated yet again that we've dropped points and we can't beat these sides. And going into most of the games towards the end of the season now, I find it hard to have any confidence.
Yeah, it's just at times we just look ridiculously disorganised. We just look like as well second best to Jules, and we're looking like we can't. It's just hard. It's hard to watch sometimes. We're making so many individual mistakes in terrible kind of positions. Maddison, Bergvall, Romero, edge of our own box, giving the ball away sloppily, just not looking sharp. We're just so easy to create chances when we're giving the ball away in such stupid positions, and it's such a hard watch. And there was very few moments when it did click today. Very few moments, to be honest. Yeah. And we didn't really create too many clear-cut opportunities. When we did have chances, it was mainly shots from tight angles or good moments. You know, Bergvall having a shot from 30 yards which hit the post. Obviously, Sarr's goal came in with a bit of luck. Son had a shot which hit the post, but again, tight angle. The only real clear-cut opportunity I can remember us carving out was probably the Sarr one on the edge of the area, which Maddison did well to carve out. Yeah. Tell didn't get any game time today. No game time. What do you think of that decision?
I think probably a decision made by Ange after quite a lot of games played, a lot of minutes played from Tell so far, and maybe not been impressed. I feel like he's trying to find a way to work him into the system, because I think he's realised now that playing him in the 9 isn't the go-to for him. Maybe you need to try him out on the left. So maybe he rested this time because against AZ Alkmaar he's going to get a bit more minutes. But I would expect to see him deployed on the wing on the weekend, and definitely not down the middle.
Definitely. Be interesting to see. He's got a few selection headaches come Thursday. What he does. Obviously, also Bentancur suspended, but Basuma, I don't know if he covered himself much glory either with his performance today. We probably looked at our best potentially when Bergvall was in the 6, and we had like Maddison and Sarr next to him. So maybe he does that on Thursday night. But yeah. But at least we did show a bit of character to kind of not give up, get the draw, get a point, come back from 2-0 down. You know, from that point of view, like, it could have been easy for us to fold, and we didn't do that, and we just kept going. Yeah, I think there was a willingness from the players to try and get back in the game and not throw in the towel at 2-0, which was a bit of a positive. But performance-wise, so much to do, and it's still so lacking. So, yeah, look, that's it. We finished 2-2. We go into the game on Thursday off the back of it. Still really bad performance, and still could have easily lost. And we have to do a lot of improving, but we did get the draw. So that's, I guess we can take the point, but it doesn't really help us when it comes to anything, when it comes to getting back into the top half in the league or anything like that. Really needed 3 points today. To give ourselves any sort of chance, but disappointing. But now